Welcome to HDFS 524, Family Theory. I'm your instructor, Dr. Ashley Harvey. And in this PowerPoint, I'm just going to cover some basic instructor information and policies that I generally share with all of my classes. And then when we meet during the first week, I'll go over the specifics for this class in more detail. Okay, so my name is Dr. Ashley Harvey. I'm your instructor, and if you were going to contact me, I would suggest either sending an email through my regular CSU email or through Canvas email. Either one comes to the same place for me. In terms of my office hours this semester, I'm going to have a Google sign-up sheet that you'll be able to access from the Canvas homepage, and you'll be able to opt for a phone call or a Microsoft Teams meeting. Okay, here's a little bit about me. I grew up in Gainesville, Florida, go Gators, but I betrayed my family and went to Florida State University, where I majored in psychology, and then I followed my boyfriend, who's now my husband, out here to Fort Collins, and I worked for a little while actually as a secretary at hospice, and then started a master's degree in marriage and family therapy here at CSU in the HDFS department, and then I worked for 3 years at the CSU Veterinary Teaching Hospital as a grief counselor, facilitating kind of difficult communications between veterinarians and clients and helping people make euthanasia decisions or surgery decisions or supporting them after the death of a companion animal. Then I left Fort Collins for 4 years. We moved to Indiana. I was pregnant with my first kid when I arrived and pregnant with my second kid when I graduated. Again, a department just like this one, HDFS, Human Development and Family Studies, and I specialized again in marriage and family therapy. I moved back here to Fort Collins in 2005, and in 2007 began teaching full-time at CSU in the HDFS department and have been doing it ever since. I teach typically about 4 classes a semester, so I end up teaching a lot of different classes and students. So you can see a picture of my family of origin, and a fun fact about us is that we are all 4 Dr. Harvey. My brother is the most recent one to have gotten his doctorate of ministry. And then you can see my current family, and my son just graduated from high school and is beginning college at CSU Boulder. So I have lots of empathy for what it's like to be a college student right now. With regard to my lecture material, some of it I'll be delivering live during our class meeting time on Thursdays, either on Teams or face-to-face or both if we're meeting face-to-face. And then some I'll deliver online prior to class, and I'll make those available to you at least by Monday of the start of the week. And this will be PowerPoint slides with my voice or some audio overlaid, and I'll convert it to a YouTube video so that the file size isn't so big. So as we've talked about, we're having synchronous class every Thursday between 9:30 and 11:30. And that will be either online or face-to-face, but either way, if it's online or face-to-face, we'll be using Microsoft Teams so that students who can't attend face-to-face are still able to participate. And then we'll also have some asynchronous work to do to make up for that, extra 50 minutes that we're not meeting each week. So I'll send a weekly announcement each Monday on Canvas that should get forwarded to your CSU email. And then if there's any other updates, I'll generally use Canvas announcements to convey that information to you. There's a detailed resource list on Canvas, and many of these are also described in the syllabus. So we do have library support for this class, and we'll have a library handout for our major papers. And the CSU Library Help Desk can provide both research support and technical support. The Student Disability Center, which was formerly called RDS, is available in case you need any accommodations in this class. A common accommodation might be for students to have extra time on exams, for example. Student case management is your go-to for any basically personal or life crisis issues that are impeding your schoolwork. And then student case management can document those and send me an email so that I can give you the option to turn in some things late without penalty. There's also, and you can find this link online, CSU has a religious accommodations form. So if you have any religious holidays or events happening during the class and you need an extension on assignments, please complete that form and then they'll send me an email. One of the last couple of things is all CSU employees are mandated reporters of sexual harassment and violence, either something that was current or something that was in the past. So if you were to disclose anything like that in a discussion post or a reflection or a paper, I would be mandated to report to a CSU office who would then contact you to make sure that you know what your resources are and your reporting options are. And then we'll talk a little bit more here about academic integrity and misconduct. There's information about the Honor Pledge in all chapter exams, and we have an APA and plagiarism quiz, which helps clarify, what is appropriate kind of writing and what is plagiarism. So the APA and plagiarism quiz will help clarify some of this, but I do file a lot of academic integrity program reports, and these are the typical reasons why I file reports, because people have basically used some other paper too closely. They've taken a sample paper and they've either copied sentences or paraphrased the ideas or structure of it, or the same thing with a friend's paper. So if you're using someone else's paper as a guide, you really don't want to have it just next to you while you're writing your own paper. You can't just take their ideas and change and insert some of your own wording and thoughts. You also don't want to be taking anything word for word from a source without quotation marks. If you don't have quotation marks around it and it's more than about 3 to 5 words in a row, then that's considered plagiarism. And then if you are putting things in your own words, you don't have to use quotation marks, but you do need to use an author date to give credit for the idea. So all of our Canvas Dropboxes are set up with Turnitin. And so once you submit your assignment into the Canvas Dropbox, you can go in and view your Turnitin score and resubmit if you would like. So we have an APA and plagiarism quiz that has been updated with the new APA 7th edition information. There's 20 questions on each attempt, and you can have up to 3 attempts and the system will record your highest score. There's about 45 questions in the bank, so if you want to kind of know all that information, you might want to take the test a few times so that you can see most of the questions. So at CSU, there's no set grading scale, and so each instructor just comes up with their own grading scale, and this is mine. It is a plus-minus grading scale, and I also want you to note that I do give A+ for anyone who gets over 100%. I don't round up for that. So if you get a 99.9, it's just an A, but if you get 100% or higher, it's an A+, and when I input grades, I'll actually go in and take a separate special step to give you an A+. It doesn't actually influence your GPA, but it shows up on your transcript, and it's pretty cool to see A+ on your transcript. So that's one incentive for doing the extra credit, even if you don't technically need the points. All assignments in this class can be submitted late with a 5% deduction per day with no end date. However, the final Sunday of the last week of class is the last day to submit assignments. And in order to have late penalties, you need to have waived, you need to have documentation from one of these CSU offices: Student Case Management, the Student Disability Center, Religious Accommodations, or the Women and Gender Advocacy Center. And more details and links are provided on Canvas. Lastly, I just want to go over